Well, in New York City, Ivanka Trump spent much of the day testifying, not as a defendant, but as the state's final witness at her family's civil fraud trial. The judge has already ruled that the Trump organization committed fraud for years. This trial will determine how much the former president and his sons will pay for that fraud and whether they can continue to do business in New York. CBS's Scott MacFarlane is at the courthouse.
How you doing, Ivanka?
Ivanka Trump strode confidently into the courtroom this morning in New York, but once on the stand, Ivanka, a former executive vice president in the Trump organization, had trouble recounting many key details. Answering "I don't recall" dozens of times, Ivanka explained she had no knowledge of her father's financial statements, as she did in a deposition last summer.
I've never prepared one. I don't know. I've never made one. I'm not an accountant.
The Attorney General's office says she was an active liaison with lenders during a time when the Trump organization landed sweetheart loans by lying about the former president's wealth. Emails revealed in court showed her involvement on the financing for the Doral Golf Club in Florida in 2011. She was copied on a submission to Deutsche Bank of her father's statement of financial conditions, which portrayed his net worth as $3 billion higher than it actually was. That resulted in a deal with much better loan rates than had been previously offered. She then wrote to her fellow executives, "It doesn't get better than this." Ivanka said she didn't remember sending the email, but state lawyer Louis Solomon said it was clear she was negotiating the deal from top to bottom. The case has also focused attention on Ivanka's negotiation of the 2011 lease of the old post office building in Washington, which Donald Trump turned into the Trump Hotel and then sold in 2022 for $139 million. Ivanka and brothers Eric and Don Jr. each reaped $4 million. New York Attorney General Letitia James said Ivanka will not be able to hide from the truth.
At the end of the day, this case is about fraudulent statements of financial condition that she benefited from. She was enriched. And clearly, you cannot distance yourself from that fact.
Sitting in the courtroom, the tone and tenor was so different than when Donald Trump testified and had flashes of anger. Ivanka spoke so softly and quietly, the judge frequently urged her to speak louder and into the microphone. And Norah, whereas Trump had seething efforts towards the judge, Ivanka Trump smiled at the judge and laughed at some of his jokes.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you.